guys, welcome to the 100 Stories to Getting Rich. Today, we have such a pleasure to have Dr. Assad to have a conversation along with us. Welcome and nice to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can you introduce a little bit, what is your journey into the crypto? I guess, everyone will be very interested.
Yes, so basically it started all back when I was a medical student. I had some personal missteps as well as cultural shock because I was living in Europe, and that put me in a very difficult financial situation. So I had to work jobs, switching between studying, working, till I was introduced.
So you went to Europe for a college?
Yes, so I graduated from high secondary school in Saudi Arabia with a high degree, or with, let's say, a high grade. I've been scholarship to Hungary to study medicine. And
they're very common for a Saudi to go to Hungary for a college.
No, actually, it's very rare.
Very rare.
Yes.
Okay. I guess you feel like lonely in the very beginning.
Exactly. It was the beginning of the scholarship program back at home in Saudi Arabia. And then, I ended up in Hungary, and I learned about crypto and Bitcoin.
And when you learn the Bitcoin, I guess your major is still healthcare, right? So does that, impact your career path upon the graduation? Like when and how you turn this, as your full time? I'm very curious. I also guess, you might got some, sort of a resistance from your family as well along the way.
Yes, that's very true. When I was a medical student, when I had financial challenges, I was looking for a way out because working and studying at the same time was difficult. So I was introduced about Bitcoin in 2013. And this is when I start mining Bitcoin. And I didn't expect, to be honest with you, that Bitcoin one day is going to be $100,000 US. At that time, it was very cheap. So we used to mine and we used to spend a lot of Bitcoins, and we could hardly spend it because it didn't have that much of a value. But then...
where you mine Bitcoin back to?
Actually, we used to use anti-ASICs miner. They produce hardware miners and back in the day. So we used to have these... computers, or let's say graphic cards at home.
At home?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And my brother, he studied IT engineering.
Yeah.
So he was into this stuff more than me. So, and he helped me through this whole thing. Actually, he's the one who introduced Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to me.
Cool. So I guess probably you and your brother are the earliest miner from Saudi region.
Maybe both of them. Yeah.
Okay. Upon the graduation, I guess you still carry on of your neurologist career until like which moment you began to think about I have to be all into the crypto?
When I got the master degree in medicine in 2019, I went back home and I worked as a neurologist for 2 years probably. And then at that time, I used to give 10% of my time into crypto since I was a medical student. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it used to pay the same as me being a doctor. So once I was like, okay, let me give it 100% and let's see how that goes. So I froze my program in medicine, my working program in medicine, and for 1 year. And I say, I will test the water and see how it goes. And I give it 100% and I never looked back.
Awesome. So when you introduce in the very beginning, you put 10% of the time into crypto. That is 10% time as a KOL or 2% time as a trader?
The whole story started not as a KOL. I was doing it purely for investing, trading. And then I started to speak about crypto on YouTube. As a matter of fact, the first video was at my car's garage. It was an old rusty garage. I just came back from the gym. So I said, okay, let me talk about Bitcoin. This was in 2017. So yeah, I made a video, very bad quality video in 2017. Then I posted it on YouTube. I went to sleep. I woke up next day in the morning and it was booming. So people were interested. What are you talking about? What is Bitcoin? What is crypto? And from there I said, okay, then I have to spread the word about crypto. And I started as KOL that time.
Okay, cool. And during which time you began to think seriously, you want to be 100% into the crypto and want to be a thought leader / aka, KOL?
When I started working as a doctor, everything was fine. But then I saw that I could have much more potential, bigger message to spread. I wanted to help people to reach financial freedom, spread the awareness about crypto and Bitcoin, especially that these days you would know that there are a lot of scamming projects, rug pulls, and stuff like this. So it's very important that someone shed a light on these projects. And the best way I could do it is through media platforms.
I guess you make such a great achievements from your first video. Now, I mean, pretty much you have more than 2.4 million total followers across different channels. What is your secret to be such a successful KOL in this industry?
I think the main thing is people who support you and a team. If you have a great team behind you, you can achieve everything. They always say a great team make the dream work. So if you have a great team, everything is possible.
How big is your team right now?
It's actually not too big. We have 9 people at the moment.
Oh, 9 people.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a proper team supporting you already. Another question would be, I think that's the interest from all the audience. Can you share with us along the journey, how did you get rich?
Being rich is different from one person to the other. Some people having a house is being rich for them. Some people having food on the table is being rich for them. Some people, they need other things and so on and so forth. I would say the moment that I felt I got rich is not related to money, but when I wake up every day in the morning and I see a message from one of my followers or the people who watch me say that you changed my life. This is being rich and this can stay forever. But money goes and comes.
Yes. Well, that's very inspiring. Yeah. Can you share with us one or two story about, your follower, how you changed their life? Is it because they buy some, meme coin or they buy a whole Bitcoin? How you change their life?
I try to avoid meme coins as much as I can.
Okay. Yes. So you're not a big fan of meme
Yes.
coins?
Yeah. They have their pros and cons, but the main thing that people here in GCC, they did not know so much about crypto back in the day, in general, Bitcoin or altcoins.
So, especially for the Arabic-speaking community.
Yes, in the MENA region, which is Middle East and North Africa, including GCC. So when you introduce them to a technology where they can invest easy and then they can cash out and cash in too many different ways, and you see the huge ROI we have in crypto during all of these years. So if somebody just watched my video in 2017, for example, and he started investing back in the day in Ethereum, it was 150, maybe 160 US dollars, something like this. So he would have made a fortune. So a lot of people used up that time. They were very smart, and I appreciate them for that. They listened and they made their own research and due diligence. They pulled the trigger. And they made life-changing returns.
Awesome. So I guess pretty much you educate the market, and some people, they got the education from you, inspired by you, and then they get into the blue chip token in the very beginning.
Yes, that's most likely. I would say I wouldn't, I hope one day I could reach the level to educate people, but I would say that I spread awareness about the space in the Middle East and North Africa.
I think now you are very different from most of the KOL. You spend a lot of time into the education domain, right? Could you please elaborate a little bit, what is your education initiative in this region?
The main thing is spreading or shedding a light on how to fundamentally analyze a project in terms of technical analysis and fundamental analysis as well. I want to empower people, or I empower people in order to be able to determine that this project is shady. This project is a rug pull. This project, it could really have huge future and potential. If someone could really determine these projects, fundamentally speaking, and also technically speaking, then their life would change. Especially in the crypto space, you really can spot the scammy projects from the real ones.
So come back to pick a token, fit for someone. Could you share about what is your most successful investments into a token? Which token made you the biggest fortune in past few years?
Best token, if we can call it like this, that I made most of, let's say, ROI on was Bitcoin, to be honest.
Bitcoin. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because we used to mine Bitcoin back in the day. This mining in 2014, you could mine huge amount of Bitcoins, even through your laptop. You don't need heavy computing power. And because the difficulty rate was very low, But I made a mistake because I spent most of that Bitcoin that time.
You spend
Yes.
buying pizza?
Is yeah, buying stuff online too.
Buying stuff, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that time, even exchanges were very hard to find. I remember that time, there was no the big names that you see today. There was the end of MT Gox collapse and the beginning of Coinbase, and things weren't so much going in the right direction that time. So it was a challenging times. So it was hard to cash out crypto. Well, the easy thing that you could buy stuff online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and that's what we did.
So you spent some Bitcoin in e-commerce.
Yes, still.
Okay.
True.
Do you still remember like which stuff you bought before?
Car parts.
Okay.
I'm a car enthusiast, so most of it went into car parts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But luckily you also have, the Bitcoin reserve along the way.
True.
Yeah. What is your view on Bitcoin? Do you think Bitcoin is also a blue chip meme?
Oh, that's a very smart question. In my humble opinion, I think Bitcoin is a project way bigger than people see it today. Bitcoin, it could be the beginning of a new chapter in the people's life. I believe that one day everything is going to be tokenized in the future. Me, myself, and I, everything, we will be just tokens. And everything is stored in the blockchain. And if I walk down, for example, to a hospital, I just need them to give them my token number. This token number can be used in any hospital, police station, in any government institution. I can pay with it, receive my salary with it, and I do everything with it. So I believe so much in tokenization. And I think Bitcoin is just the beginning or the introduction for the people about this technology.
In that case, what is your view of the Bitcoin price for this season in 2025? And how do you see Bitcoin price in next 10 years?
Hopefully the Bitcoin price reach the market cap of gold. If I recall correctly, currently the market cap of gold, 17 trillion US dollars. So I could see Bitcoin in let's say 10 to 15 years reaching $500,000 US dollars.
$500,000?
Yes.
Okay. $500,000 basically is there's still 2x
Yes.
To grow. Yeah. But what is your view of the Bitcoin, in 2025? In next 12 months, what is your view on that?
I'm a big fan of 2025. I think 2025 is going to be a great year for individuals, for institutions, for companies due to quantitative easing that is happening in the central banks. More money printing, less interest rate. So I think we're going to boom, economically speaking, in traditional markets and crypto markets. So I think that Bitcoin, I can see Bitcoin 2025 going to 120 to 140 US dollars, 40,000 US dollars. I'm conservative with my targets. I know that.
Oh, you think you're conservative?
Yes. Yeah, it could go higher. You never know. But yeah, being conservative, I think, is better than regretting not getting out in the right time.
I think every followers of your channel might ask one question would be, for the most, important position of some individuals' financial investments, let's say Bitcoin. Do you try to, timing the market, when the market go very high, you will recommend people to sell, to stay cash and then buy back in the bear market? Or you would, just to become as a diamond hand to hold the Bitcoin always? What is your suggestion? What is your strategy?
That is very interesting question. So basically for crypto in general, let's say that Bitcoin is something and everything else is another thing.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, before we see these big numbers, and today we can see BlackRock, MicroStrategy, Fidelity, and big names into the space, even governments nowadays are into Bitcoin. So back in the day, before all of these happens, I would say that, okay, you try to buy low and sell high. But currently, I think like the US President Donald J. Trump says, never sell your Bitcoin. So maybe you should never sell your Bitcoin. Not a financial advice though. But as for altcoins, I think you should try, it's very much customized based on each project. Sometimes you know that this project is going to last for one cycle and then the hype is gone. And then you need to switch to another project and get into another boat. So for altcoins, yeah, I might buy low and sell high. For Bitcoins, I think I would never sell it.
Okay, so you will have a diamond hand approach.
Yes.
So buy low, sell high for this season. buy low, I guess, most of the audience, they already bought. Sell high. When? How?
Yeah, I believe that you never can buy at the bottom and sell at the top. Nobody can time the market. It's impossible. And if it worked with me once, it might be luck. It's not because I'm intelligent. It's just pure luck. It's very hard to time out the market. But what you can do is you can buy near the bottom and sell near the high. You will never be able to sell exactly at the top. It's almost impossible. So we would say that the almost Q3 of 2025 might be good time to restudy all of your portfolio and try to time your way out. But things can change, now with the Donald J. Trump in January being the president of the United States, and things can change. We don't know really how the central bank is going to react. But at the moment, Q3 could be a good time for altcoins.
Okay, Q3. I will take note for that.
Yeah.
Another question would be, you made your fortune. Your most successful investments is Bitcoin. Can you share with us, what is your most, what is the biggest failure of your investments in crypto?
So the biggest failure is due to my personal mistake. So I lost a huge amount of money trading in 15 seconds.
In 15 seconds?
15 seconds.
On which token?
It was, I can't name the token because it was so small at the time. And I think I bumped the price and I was selling on a central exchange. So when I was selling the token, every portion I sell, the price goes up. And I didn't pay attention to that. So I was bumping it and the price goes up. Then the next portion, I sell it even higher and then higher and then higher. Then I found myself, after the whole thing done, that I lost huge amount of money because I was bumping the price for myself. So it was a personal mistake.
That is on DEX.
That was on a centralized exchange.
Oh, a centralized exchange.
One of the centralized exchanges, yeah. This one of the top 10 centralized exchanges. And then we had a chat with the support and the technical team from the exchange that there could be a mistake, something, but it's clear. And they are right. I agree with them.
Yeah. Wow. I feel very sorry about that. But what would be your key take from this, loss?
Never be in a rush.
Never being rushed.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to keep calm, control your nerve, and then you can pull the trigger.
Okay. Yeah. So basically for that trade, it's not because you picked the wrong asset. It's just because when you get into the trade, you are in a rush mindset and some, misoperation happened in the ad.
Yes. Misoperation plus FOMO.
FOMO.
Yes. So psychology is everything. If you have a strong psychology, then you can succeed in this market.
Yeah. Come back to the psychology and inner peace. I mean, to be honest, we are in crypto industry and it's such a hustle and chaotic, industry, right? Everyone come here is not for inner peace. It's for making money. And also you are such a big popular KOL on TikTok, YouTube, etc. And everyone wants to, learn from the rich guy. And I know on your video, you have a lot of video, along with race car, Lamborghini, etc. But, when I get a chance to meet with you in person and I feel you're such an intellectual person, share with us a lot of insights. So how do you make the balance between, the inner peace and, such a money-driven industry?
Crypto industry, as you know, it never stops. We're working 7 days a week, 365 days a day, so a year. So it's chaos. The market doesn't sleep. The market doesn't close. It's not like the traditional market where you can take a day off or a break. So I think the best thing that you could do is to try, I would say, meditating or praying. Praying is different, but I believe praying is meditating.
Yes.
So this thing.
Because you focus on some chanting, right?
True.
Yeah.
True. So praying / meditating, it helps you a lot with controlling yourself, controlling your psychology and your emotion. I think someone's biggest weapon and most dangerous weapon at the same time is his inner peace. It could be your biggest enemy and it could be your biggest friend. If you are in inner peace with yourself, then you can execute in a way that no one else can do. And if you are not in inner peace, then you're going to destroy yourself and everyone around you.
So to carry on this topic, you would recommend people try to have a balanced lifestyle between chasing money and meditation, have some self-reflection, etc. But at this point of time, it's like in the middle of the bull market. I guess you have a lot of audience, they're beginner. They are rushing into this industry. What would be your suggestion to them?
It will be in this space, if you're just starting out, two things you should do. Number one, always invest what you offer to lose. And number two, never be in debt for the sake of crypto that you are thinking you are going to make up this money and then you will pay someone else. Because crypto space is very risky. So you should always be aware, and you have, take risk, that's fine. But it should be very calculated risk. I've seen people who made huge mistakes that destroyed their life. Like, for example, someone took a loan and then he put it into meme coin. And this meme coin just vanished. And the guy is in debt for the rest of his life.
But I think at this point of time, looks like the bull market is in the middle, right? And do you still recommend the beginner, they get into this industry to invest? Or you would, recommend them to learn this industry and try to observe and maybe start from the next bear market? What is your suggestion on that?
I think they should learn as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Because I think we are going to have a very big year coming up. This bull market is going to be huge, especially with the institutional money in it. It's not driven by retail anymore. It's driven by institutions and government. So it's going to be once a lifetime opportunity for everyone. So if they can learn as fast as they can and they try to catch up this market, I think they would be fine.
Okay, interesting. So you mentioned a very interesting point is this season is a little bit different from last season. This season, there is a strong wave from the institution. Could you elaborate a little bit? Do you think this season might have the similar, cycle feature, or it might be slightly different?
I believe that this season is going to be driven in a way that is way stronger. There's more, let's call it money flush into the market more than any other season.
From institutions.
From institutions and governments. Now governments, they have a lot of Bitcoin holdings, either by, if not by sieges, then by buying it or by having their fund wealth in it or part of it in it. We have a lot of countries nowadays that they are into Bitcoin themselves. Some other countries in some other parts of the world, they don't show this, but they invest into companies that have also big portions in Bitcoin. So in one way or the other, also governments are involved into Bitcoin, I believe, as well as institutions.
In that case, Bitcoin has a very strong move. How about the other VC coin? Like, what is your view on the VC coin? VC coin got a lot of criticism this season, right? People think the VC coin, they just try to have a very high valuation, go to a centralized exchange, and then try to dump to the retail. And then a lot of retail, they just want to buy Bitcoin or meme coin, not the VC coin anymore. Can you share a little bit, what is your view on the VC coin?
The thing with these projects, sometimes it's very hard for, let's say, a regular investor in the market to determine that is this VC coin really legit or not. What I would say that you should always look at the team, look at the people behind this project. If they are well-representable people, they had done successful stuff in the past. Plus, number two, this project really has utility in the society. It's really used for something. Then I think that's a good flag. But if the team wasn't good, if there's no really utility for this project in the market, then this is a huge red flag.
Could you share with us what is your top 3 favorite VC coins or auto coins?
Maybe I can't talk about this at the moment, but let's switch up the question and say altcoins.
Yes.
For altcoins, I would say number one, definitely Ethereum.
Ethereum.
I'm a very big fan of Ethereum. I believe that Ethereum,
not the XRP, no Solana, those get stronger momentum easily.
Number two would be Solana, to be honest with you. But Ethereum changed the face of finance. With DeFi coming up in Ethereum, smart contracts, Ethereum changed the whole game. It was very smart from Vitalik, the idea about Ethereum and how did he come up with it. We had different finance before Ethereum, and today we are having huge different finance after Ethereum. I believe that also banks, commercial banks that are nowadays working, they will change the way they work. they have to adapt because Ethereum changed everything.
You make a very strong argument, like basically Ethereum changed the traditional finance industry,
True.
right? They redo the finance on the blockchain.
True.
This is their disruptive innovation.
True.
Previously, you mentioned like you are not a very big fan of the meme coin. This is a very contrarian view as compared to most of the global KOL. Could you introduce a little bit why you are not a big fan of meme? I mean, memes are cute. Meme can attract a lot of attention, but why you are not a big fan of meme?
True. And that's one of my biggest challenges, by the way, in the media platforms, that I don't speak much about meme coins. I try to avoid as much as I can. The reason behind that, I believe meme coins in general, or let's say meme category of coins, they are going to do well in 2025 because of the hype. But it's purely driven by hype. So if you are not professional and you don't know what to do, you're going to be crushed with meme coins. The reason behind this, that I believe that a lot of meme coins, they are just for pump and dump. So just to make money for the founders of these projects, the people who got in early, and they use the poor people liquidity in order to exit.
There is a unethical wealth transformation, right?
True.
Yeah, they transfer the wealth from the poor people to the rich people.
True.
Now I understand, why you want to put more efforts into the education.
True.
Could you talk about, your academy as well?
We try to spread the words and we try to shed light for different level of people. So for example, let's say if you know nothing about crypto, you can come in and you will start learning about how to build up your portfolio, how to have accounts, how to deal with hot wallets, with cold wallets. Then later on, we take you to a further step or higher level where you can fundamentally and technically analyze any project. So you don't need me in the future. I won't give you a fish, but I will teach you how to fish. So I will teach you, I will show you the way how you yourself can do your homework and due diligence. And it's beside that, it's a community hub. So where people from GCC, Middle East and North Africa, they can gather in one place, they can exchange words, learn from each other. It's more like a club in one portion, on one part of it.
I think you are one of the very unique KOL leading the education as a ambassador in the Arabic-speaking community in the world. And from my personal experience, I feel like different communities, they have different personality. Let's say career retail investor, they are very, they're very into the crypto, and so any token they got it listed on Upbit, etc., they go crazy, right? And let's say, Russian investors, sometimes they use the crypto as to solve their daily, financial activity, because, unfortunately, Russia now is sanctioned, but, a lot of Russian retail users, they will use USDT, etc., to do money remittance, etc. So I feel like, different regions, they have different features. What is your view of the features of the Arabic-speaking community, as a, individual profile? What is the profile of this community?
I won't generalize, but what I would say that people in GCC, they love to take risk.
Okay.
I think it's
a risk-taking.
Yes, they are risk-taking. I think this is in their nature. So I think, or I believe, the most thing that retail investors from GCC is focused on is basically trading and investing. It depends on how capital these people have. So from my experience, what I saw of people, that if they have small capitals, they tend more toward trading. If they have bigger capitals, they tend more toward investing for longer term.
My last question would be, given that, your audience is such a risk-taking community, and also they love trading, what would be your advice to all of your audience, globally?
I would have one advice. The trend is your friend. Always follow the trend. Never fight Bitcoin if it's in a bull market. If it's in a bull market, it's going to go up. Never face Bitcoin, never face that wave in the other direction. It's going to crush you. And the other way up. If we're in a bear market and Bitcoin is going to correct, it's going to correct. No matter how high you think it's going to go. So always follow the trend. The trend is your friend.
Okay. And the trend, you emphasize that, Bitcoin is like the crown of the whole crypto industry.
Yes. Basically, Bitcoin is the leader of them all. So Bitcoin have to give the signal that we're going up, then everything would go up. Let's consider altcoins, they're the little kids for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They have first to give the signal that, okay, we're going to go up, then everything goes up, and vice versa.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Well, yeah, it's such a pleasure to have you today. And I think that's it for today's 100 Stories to Get Rich. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you
Okay.
for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you.